Welcome to Lesson 5. In this lesson, we'll visit the first, perhaps most important foundational aspect of coaching, emotional intelligence. We'll explore its origins and the classical elements that define it, as well as distilling it down to a few core concepts that are directly relevant to the way we interact with our clients. Emotional intelligence, or EI, has become a consistent topic among business thought leaders and in the management and leadership literature that's been published over the past couple of decades or so. Popularized perhaps most prominently by American psychologist Daniel Goleman in his seminal book, Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, and his follow-up, Working with Emotional Intelligence, we've come to think of EI as critical to the quality of our interactions with others in any setting. Traditionally involving self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management, EI has evolved to encompass multiple frameworks and theories of application since Goleman's initial publication hit the shelves back in 1995. Indeed, a recent search on the term emotional intelligence on Amazon in the books category alone yielded more than 20,000 results. With respect to EI's relationship to coaching approaches that we can bring to our consulting engagements, we'll distill those frameworks into 3 core competencies that perhaps best characterize emotionally intelligent behaviors while enhancing the quality of our client interactions and the efficacy of our consulting work. So let's begin with a quick overview of each of those competencies and then dive deeper into how we can best adopt them. The first EI competency is self-awareness. Now, we've already done quite a bit of work on self-discovery to identify our core values or signature strengths, and to understand the psychological needs that, when met, enhance our level of engagement with the work that we're doing. Those are elements that are essential to gaining any real ability to coach our clients to better performance for themselves and their organizations. In this context, self-awareness also means understanding how we're being perceived by our clients and other stakeholders in the outcomes of our engagements. It means being sensitive to the way our words and actions can subvert even our best intentions or resonate with our clients in a powerful and engaging way. Situational awareness, the second EI competency, is something any good consultant has mastered. Surely, prior to offering advice, we need to gain an understanding of our clients' problems and the environment in which they present themselves. We need knowledge of their corporate culture, the way they operate, their products and services, their market segments, the temperament of their leadership team, many interrelated factors. We also need to understand the world in which they're currently operating. There is rarely a linear cause and effect relationship between client problems and effective solutions, since context influences all business decisions, including those involving consultant recommendations. Finally, we need to demonstrate empathy. Simply put, while we do bring valuable perspectives to our engagements that were previously unavailable to our clients, we also need to understand where our clients are coming from, to put ourselves in their shoes, so to speak. A coaching approach to consulting means there is a genuine, reciprocal, peer-to-peer relationship that emerges with our clients through collaboration rather than lectures and directives. So let's get into how each of these competencies can be used to create a strong foundation for our consulting work and the outcomes we produce in collaboration with our clients. As the cornerstone of our foundation, it should come as no surprise that self-awareness might just be the single most important goal in our quest to supercharge our consulting practices. We've already explored extensively the values, our character strengths, that underpin who we are. The emotionally intelligent consultant has great clarity when it comes to knowing what's important to them and why. With those values in mind, we're better positioned to align the work that we do with a sense of purpose. An overused and abused idea, purposeful work means much more than finding a calling or following your bliss. Purpose is in fact variable and highly dependent upon context. A starving person needs to eat. An exhausted person needs to rest. In our consulting context, our purpose is that thing we do so well and so enjoy that our clients are drawn to it. Having self-awareness means we understand precisely what that thing is, which is the intersection of what you're great at, what you love to do, and what can be most financially rewarding. An adaptation of the hedgehog concept from Jim Collins' groundbreaking book, Good to Great. Finally, being self-aware means knowing your limitations. This means if you don't know something, say as much. Being a successful consultant does not require you to be a know-it-all. In fact, you will severely damage your credibility if you appear to have an answer for everything. Areas in which you're an acknowledged expert are always moving targets. New technologies, new products and services, economic conditions, and a multitude of other factors are constantly influencing the value of your expertise. So being up to date is at least as important as gaining the knowledge in the first place. Consider this. Would you go to a doctor who graduated medical school 30 years ago and hasn't cracked open a book, attended a class, or consulted an expert colleague for new information since then? Knowing your limitations means you are constantly seeking new, relevant information and acknowledging that there may be just too much new stuff coming at you to know everything all the time. So we defer to those with deeper knowledge when it's appropriate. Armed with an understanding of how self-awareness involves clear values, purposeful work, and knowing your limitations, let's move on to the second aspect of EI, situational awareness. Situational awareness means, to be blunt, not being clueless. We've all witnessed individuals who can't read the room. We can almost feel embarrassed for them. Among other things, situational awareness requires knowledge of your client's reputation and, importantly, how their business is perceived by their stakeholders, their customers, employees, investors, community, etc. This involves reading news items, researching employee reviews on websites like Glassdoor, reading product or service reviews, and any other relevant information that indicates how well or poorly your client and their company are being received by those who are most important to their well-being. In order to give proper advice, you'll need a comprehensive understanding of your client's current financial situation, including the availability of resources required to fund unmet goals, the competitive and other market forces that can make or break them, and how well they're able to operate given current economic conditions. There is no one-size-fits-all marketplace or economy. Some companies thrive while others struggle, regardless of the economic climate. Know how and when your client responds well or poorly to a given phase of the business cycle to give better advice and inform better decisions. Finally, situational awareness means knowing what your client's character strengths and values are. Strength spotting, something we discussed earlier, is your key to understanding what lights your client up. If your client values spirituality, gratitude, and creativity, and you hammer them with growth at any cost goals and focus exclusively on aggressive financial targets, you'll lose them. While your advice may be well-intended and even critically important to their survival, you might as well be speaking Greek to someone who only understands Urdu. Better that you tailor your advice to your client's sensibilities if you expect them to act on it. That can be a huge challenge and one that can truly differentiate you as a consultant. For the icing on the cake, as it were, let's spend a few minutes talking about the EI competency, empathy. Empathy is defined as, quote, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. By now, it should be evident how self-awareness and situational awareness, as we've described them, would be important prerequisites to demonstrating genuine empathy. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes, as we've said earlier, aligns you with them in a way that dramatically reduces the chance of fostering adversarial us versus them impediments to being a good consultant. And while empathy comes naturally to many people, those who attempt to fake it are usually revealed as disingenuous at best and con artists at worst. This is a muscle you must exercise regularly in order to become authentically empathetic. So how do we do this? First, always pay attention to your client. You'll learn active listening in a subsequent lesson, so for now, just know that your client's reactions, verbal cues, and body language reveal much about how your message is being received. Next, when you frame your questions, consider your client's values and their particular situation. You wouldn't ask a blind person what they think of that cute picture of your dog that's on your phone's home screen. Likewise, think twice about suggesting to someone who values lifelong learning that they should eliminate their management training program to save money. Finally, your discussions with your clients are about them, not you. That's the essence of coaching, and the best way to bring coaching sensibilities to your consulting engagements is to maintain focus on their needs. While we all have exciting experiences to share, just don't do it unless they ask you explicitly if you've successfully dealt with precisely the same problem they're currently dealing with. So there you have it. EI in a nutshell. Self-awareness through clarifying personal values, aligning work with purpose, and knowing your limitations. Situational awareness through reading the room, having knowledge of your client's business and reputation, and understanding how they operate given certain financial, economic, and market factors. And empathy, by being attuned to client reactions and cues, asking questions that reflect your understanding of their situation, and keeping your focus entirely on them. Remember, it's not about you. Congratulations on getting to this halfway point in the course. By now, you've gained an understanding of the most important foundational elements upon which to build good coaching skills, what distinguishes coaching from consulting, what you and your clients value, what motivates you and your clients, and how to be self-aware and read the room in a way that exemplifies emotional intelligence. Before you go, take some time to write about what you've learned so far and how it might help you with your consulting practice in the course workbook, the lesson worksheet, or your personal journal. How has the revelation of your signature strengths and psychological needs help you to be more self-aware? How might an understanding of your signature strengths and psychological needs help you to better understand your clients, prospects, or others you wish to influence? How does knowledge of your signature strengths and psychological needs help you to be more empathetic, able to put yourself in others' shoes before inquiring, proposing, or offering advice? Remember, taking the time to reflect and record your thoughts is the best way to gain the most from your investment of time in this course. In the next lesson, we'll dive into a few core coaching techniques to help you ask better questions, listen more intently and purposefully, and foster more engaging, collaborative relationships with your clients.